A big problem with modern culture and shows like She-Hulk, Rings of Power, is the women act like men 100%. It's like it's written by people who don't understand how basic biology, well, they don't. They oh well. I can't even get on that train of thought because I realize what I'm saying and then it's like these people are literally insane and you can't rationalize it. But look, we've been watching She-Hulk over the last couple months and seen the twerking, the sluttiness and all that, and it's gone from one just extreme degeneracy to another where she's, she don't need no man, she's better than any man, I'm better than you, Hulk. And that is just so cringy on every single level. And it shows that these people don't know how to write female characters. I do, which is weird because they always, call me a misogynist on Twitter or whatever. You misogynist, anti-woman, blah, And if you look at actually, most of my popular books have a female lead to it. My most popular books, that is. Somebody in my comments the other day said, once you have a male character, I'll buy that, which was interesting because I've got a lot of male characters. But showing, especially in comic form, a female form does actually help sell because people like to look at pretty things. And let's be honest, guys, females are prettier than us. It is kind of a thing. But I know how to write them. I do them really well. I'm a #1 best-selling author in such. My steampunk series for Steam and Country has sold over 30,000 copies with a female lead. Flying Sparks has a female superhero in it. It's got a dual lead, is like what I like to call it, because I've got both a male and a female. It's got some romance tropes to it because of that. And I know how to do it very well. And people always praise me on my ability on how to write female characters. So I'm going to go over where they went wrong with She-Hulk and where they screwed all this up and how I'm doing things right. So you can see a clear difference between how to make a female character realistic and good and wholesome and something that's worth actually, watching rather than something that you want to cringe and turn away from, which is unfortunately what they did with She-Hulk. All right. My name is John Delarose, if you guys are new here, and I'm going to put this link in the description below. I'm going to be comparing to my Flying Sparks character, Metagirl, when I make this. And Metagirl is a superhero. She flies. She has a few gadgets that her professor gave her. A male professor. Gosh, the patriarchy. And she goes out and she tries to do good in the world with that, and that's kind of the MO. I like heroism. I like characters who are good. I want to present superheroes as super and heroic, and that's exactly what we're trying to bring things back to here. So Flying Sparks, this is a 5th volume. We've got, like I said, 5 volumes of it. All of it will be available on this campaign. If you just want to even check out the first volume, it'll be available on this campaign. And you can get in on this wonderful story I've been working on for more than 5 years. It's very complicated. It's got a ton of moving parts to it that I set up all in the beginning, and it all pays off here, comes full circle. We know what we're doing on the writing end, and I hope you'll check it out. Beautiful art by Elias Martin, which you can see right there. And this is on Kickstarter. And so we'll be launching as soon as Overmind gets fulfilled here shortly. This little green button, notify me on launch, is the one to click. And you'll get an email when that launches. I don't know what day it's going to be yet because it's going to depend on when I finish shipping these out. Because I want to get you your books first, customers first, everybody, and then we'll get this going. Cool. Thank you guys for being along for the ride. That's what we're just cranking out books here. Look, Marvel and DC put out books every month. We're trying to do them as fast as possible to keep them going. Have a bunch of different books out there, a little something for everybody, so that you can find something you love and then have a whole new universe to replace those corporate monstrosities that have come to destroy our culture. Thank you guys so much for the support. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, if you look at the Mary Sue, try not to look at the Mary Sue, my friends. It's a rough time. You might have to go Minecraft yourself after that. Not that I advocate that. But She-Hulk faces slut-shaming as her enemies weaponize female rage. And that's really what it's all about. I mean, so if you look, she goes and bangs a new dude every week. She's empowered in doing it. She's like Amaranth, basically. No man's going to control... Oh, wait. I guess that's a bad analogy with Amaranth. Never mind. But you see what it does to the female psyche when you get this kind of thing, and it's kind of like a male slutty pattern of behavior. Because women, like when this is how biology works. When women have a sexual attraction and activity with somebody, it creates a bonding chemical within them to where they want to nest and get into motherhood and all that. And when you take all that away from the element of sex and just make it about some degenerate, quick pleasure for right now, you bastardize what the actual beauty of it is and God's creation is, and you get something that's unnatural and just awful. And it's awful to watch. You look at this and you cringe and you go, "This lady's disgusting." When she starts twerking on screen, you go, "This is awful." And this is something that Hollywood writers don't understand about females and don't know how to write regular females. I guess they have an all-female writing room except for one kind of gay guy. From what I saw in the reveal there, but I don't know how that works. But they don't know how to write good women, and it comes down to it because all these are angry women who want to be men and they want to see this like it's not actual men either. It's like this isn't the way actual men work, but it's the way like degenerate men work, and they think that's like the pinnacle of what females should be. It's very bizarre. And that's exactly what we had here. That's why the show failed so badly. Galadriel's kind of similar. I mean, while she's not going around being slutty like She-Hulk, she's going around being an angry, aggressive boss of people, trying to just like, kind of like swing her big sword around, and then ends up just being kind of an a-hole to everybody. And that's like the opposite end of the extreme here. But with She-Hulk, it is the degeneracy that makes the character unrelatable, makes it terrible. So we've done something different. So when I get into Flying Sparks and when I get into female situations in general, I try to posit a loyal kind of female because that's a nice archetype that's relatable, and that's something that people like here. So in the first issue of Flying Sparks, which is in the first volume, you have this situation where it's like I set up the characters, and the characters, she's Metagirl, he's a supervillain. He doesn't go by a villain name. I have all these little things here. Like he just goes by Johnny, and like what he does is he tries to hide his powers because he's doing villainous things. And if a villain is doing things like that, stealing and all that, and doing these underworld things, what you do in that situation, you wouldn't pick a name for yourself and announce yourself to the world in a flashy costume and go, "I'm Electro." I'm on a tangent, I'm sorry. "I'm Electro." No, you'd try to hide and keep your powers a secret so that you can use them for like, the stealing, the theft, getting things going on in your little underworld situation and not have anybody talk about it because, oh well. That's what he does. That's his thought process, okay, as a character. And so he's Johnny. He's just Johnny, but he just like looks like he has a coffee shop as a front business, and then doesn't tell anybody about his kind of backroom dealings. And so they're dating, and they both have secret identities. They're keeping big secrets from each other. A big no-no in relationships. And that's how it starts. But she's fiercely loyal to him. Now, he thinks she's cheating on him because she's disappearing. She's gone for a while. A couple days goes by before she comes back. It's like, "Where'd you go?" She's like, "I had to study. I'm in college." And he's like, "Oh, gosh, she's off with some college guy." So immediately, like, the man gets upset because the woman is being promiscuous, at least in his mind, right? And so that causes conflict, and that will always cause conflict. It will cause problems in relationships if women act like that, if men act like that too. And so that's where a nice feminine character shows up, and she has to go be like, "I'm not doing that. I'm being pure here," and I present her as such because she's a hero. She's great. And I want her to be relatable and want people to connect with her. So if she was actually going around on doing that, you wouldn't be able to connect with her. She'd be She-Hulk. Now, since she's a relatable female character. So immediately when she comes back, I just wanted to say sorry. He realizes like he was being suspicious of her for no reason. "No, I'm sorry. I've been mad too. It's ridiculous. I know you've got your schoolwork. I shouldn't be upset when you're busy." And he goes, "Can you forgive me?" Look at this this good relationship. "I love you," she says. And then we get the kiss. Now, this is how I end the first issue. Ending the kiss and getting the girl is always a beautiful thing. But that's where I end it. And I don't show them, flipping off her bra and getting hopping into bed or anything like that. It's never even implied or alluded to in this. So I keep her as a pure character so that she because that purity is part of her heroism, right? So when she's got this, and this is as far as it goes in like the sexual sense, there's still there's a lot of relationship tension there, and that relationship tension, emotion, is very feminine, and so it feels good for the character and feels very feminine for the character. Without that whole sex-oriented stuff in it, it actually feels better and you like the character more. And that's how it goes. This is why this is a relatable character that's such a success. You get the opposite of this with She-Hulk. And so that's what we're trying to do. People always ask me, why do you make characters with books with women in it and female leads? And while this does have a female lead, it also has Johnny as a lead. They get about 50-50 screen time in this. And I did this intentionally so that I could have female readers and male readers, and everybody would enjoy it and everybody would relate to both characters. But I present her in a feminine manner where she's not acting like She-Hulk. She's not out there twerking. She's not being disgusting. If you look at her costume even, it's definitely like it's pretty. She looks pretty, but she's mostly covered up. She doesn't have. I don't have her with the I know a lot of guys like this, but the Fantastic Four Sue Storm with the boob window cut out or anything like that. I'm not having her act like that for good reason. Her skirt isn't like super short. Sometimes she wears leggings covering. It just depends on the time of year. You'll notice. I love these little details about books that people don't notice a lot of times. Sometimes you see her legs, and that's summertime. Sometimes she's in like blue leggings, and that's wintertime because it'd be cold, especially flying around up there. I think about this stuff. So it just depends on what time of year it is. And LA doesn't have snow or anything like that, so it'll look the same in the background regardless. It's Los Angeles. But that sort of feminine quality is what makes a good character. That purity actually makes her into more of a hero, and it makes her more relatable. And that is something to strive for in female characters when you're getting into things. And you want to have a stable relationship when it comes to that, because that stability is what women crave and what women want, and the goodness of a relationships for them. On top of that, like, you don't want to have her going at the male characters, showing she's better than them, etc. There's another character, Meta Man, who shows up, and he's kind of a mystery throughout this book. And I make it clear that, like, he's more powerful than her. He saves her, and that she is helping, because women are very helpful. There's nothing wrong with that. But she's not just like a better character than him too. These things are so important, and this is exactly the opposite again of what She-Hulk did with Bruce Banner the Hulk in that show. And that's why that show rings so false. This rings very true, and that why we have something better going on in our Iron Age movement. It's very easy to compare these and contrast them and show you exactly what good writing looks like versus what bad writing looks like. And I hope this was useful for you guys. If you're a writer, present feminine female leads, not strong female leads. And if you're a reader, I hope you'll check this out and enjoy it, because this is the way that women are meant to be. And this is the idealized woman. And that's a good thing. That's what I want out of a superhero. All right. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this, guys? I'd be interested in hearing from you. And of course, please sign up. I'll put this link. This will be the first link in the description below. Flying Sparks Ultralight Beams is going to launch in November. Click this green button to get notified so that you don't miss the first day. We want to have a huge launch, blow everything on Kickstarter out of the water, because we are the future. We have the stories that are real. We have the stories that are good, and we have the stories that are true. Thank you so much.